Now let me be the first one to tell y'all. Woo! Last night's game was a movie, okay? It was a literal movie. The fact that we went into that and it felt like we were just gonna get blown out, but then we got the ultimate sweet revenge was just, it was just wonderful. After the beating they handed us in the first round of the playoffs last year, the Atlanta Dream were able to get some get back, as the kids say, against the Dallas Wings. Now, Agumawale, I could genuinely make this video an entire 20-minute deep dive of superstar calls and how it's not fair that she's able to do 90% of what she does. But then at the same time, I feel like that would be me just shoving her down the stairs when there's also a lot to love. I mean, the shots that she hits, granted, every one of them is off of a push-off and a travel. But every shot that she hits is very impressive. I don't know how she does it, I'm going to be honest with you. She's very skilled. She's very talented. She can shoot from anywhere on the court. She's got the finishing abilities. Again, she gets to these moves illegally. And again, I feel like that could be a large portion of the video. And she better be happy I can't spell either of her names, because believe me, I'd be tweeting recklessly. But shout out to Miss Agumawale doing whatever it is that she does. I just know that that does not include beating the Atlanta Dream in the year 2024. So there's that. There's that. But I wanted to make this video really not a cry for help, but a call to action. I would like to challenge Coach Wright, not only to draw a play, but I would like to challenge Coach Wright to have a man in the mirror moment and just channel in that Michael Jackson, and just have a man in the mirror moment and just say, you know what, I need to do what's good for the team. Not what's good for the brand, what's good for the team. And what's good for the team, whether everyone wants to admit it or not, which I've yet to find someone who disagrees with me on this fact, but I believe it's time to start Naz Hillman. I get that Cheyenne Parker is an all-star, well, was an all-star. Shout out to her. I will, it would be irresponsible of me to sit here and ignore all the positive contributions that she offered last game. That would be ignorant of me. But then at the same time, we have to highlight the things that she didn't quite do well. Now, obviously, against a center like Ms. McCowan and such, there's only so much you're going to be able to do, especially when the refs are calling every defensive attempt a foul. There's only so much you can do. But my thing is, if you are our starting center, I want to know why Ryan Howard gets a double-double. I want to know why Tina Charles gets a double-double if you are our starting center. Why are we going into the fourth quarter and Cheyenne Parker only has 2 rebounds, but Ryan Howard has 10? I want to know what's going on with that. It's the fact that she's allergic to rebounds for me. It's the fact that she never gets close enough to the basket to even attempt to grab one for me. It's the fact that she's not interested in battling for post positions for me. All she wants to do is take middies and threes. And if she does go down low, she's gonna miss. We hope to God she's fouled, or they call it, because she's going to miss. But what I noticed last night is the second that Naz got into the game, we saw interceptions, we saw steals, we saw fight and effort and grit for defensive and offensive rebounds, which is what is needed. We saw an ability to dribble the ball further than 2 steps without bouncing it off of your foot. You see, it's not just scoring buckets for me. If you are our starting center, it's not about scoring buckets for me. Again, we already have Tina Charles. We have Alicia Gray. We have a generational talent in Ryan Howard. We don't need more scoring. We're good on that. And even if you want to contribute in the scoring category, because maybe it's a rough night and maybe certain people don't have it, or maybe it's just the good old game plan, I completely understand it. But you can do like an Aerial Powers and you can give us something on the other end. You can contribute in a way that is going to actually help us. I think Ariel's good off the bench. I see no issue with that. But you know who should be coming off the bench with her? If we're keeping it all the way a Milwaukee Bean? If we're keeping it a Milwaukee Buck? I think Nas should be starting. I don't know what more she has to do. And what I'm really trying to figure out is, when did Nia Coffey start coming off the bench? Like, when did that start? Because last year she was starting. The only thing that happened is you added Tina Charles. And from what I've researched and from what I understand, Tina's a center. So we can just slide Tina Charles over to the center position and you put either Nas or Nia Coffey out there like we were doing last year before she got hurt, and the situation will handle itself. That's what really confuses me about all this. I don't want people to think that I'm just a Cheyenne Parker hater, because I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm just irritated with certain things. And even in a win, it's very difficult for me to literally stand there after sitting in traffic for 2 hours, to literally stand there and just watch Cheyenne just be allergic to defense at all times. Again, the refs were not in our favor, so a lot of her attempts on defense were resulting in a foul, but that doesn't mean you stop trying. That's not how basketball works. That's not how winning a game works. Now, again, we won. I just feel like it wouldn't have to come of the comeback variety had we had someone who's going to literally play their position on both sides of the ball and not just be rewarded off of clout. And if I'm wrong, just like I said with Ari for about 3 to 4 years, then prove me wrong. I will have nothing to discuss. I will have nothing to critique if you just prove me wrong. Now, our next couple games, I believe, shouldn't be that difficult to get past. I don't really think we're facing any juggernauts anytime soon. I know our next home game is against Minnesota, so we have nothing to fear there. But I see the writing on the walls ahead of time, and I feel like these are things that need to be addressed. I don't feel like there is any perfect scenario for any team in the beginning of the season. I mean, unless you're an Aces fan, but I don't think there is any possible perfect scenario for any team. I feel like there's always room to be critical. There's always room to be concerned and such. And we have 2 glaring things on our team that raise concern and raise my eyebrow. Now, if they go undefeated, then cool, I guess I'm just a hater. But I would like to see certain things be addressed so when we get into the playoffs, we don't have to be concerned about what's going to happen. But let me know your thoughts down below. 7-Man, Young 7-Man. You're here on the Local W. I'm your Atlanta Dream correspondent. Make sure you subscribe for all the best in women's sports coverage. Not just in the New York area, not just in the Atlanta area. So subscribe to see it all. I'll see y'all later. Yeah.